Hi, I'm Megan. Welcome to today's live reading of Hell in a Handbasket by Naomi Valkyrie, presented by Itsy Bits. Join me. Chapter 1. Oren. Frustrated, I close the website I've been searching. It's difficult for me to get accurate information on demon hunters when there's so much false information floating around out there. Every time I think I've learned something of substance, TVL tells me it's crap created by Hollywood. Of course, being the ass that he is, he never bothers to give me any accurate information. I'd say it's part of his demon nature, but the other demons I know aren't so bad. Speaking of other demons, I usually have to go to Delilah or Sheridan for clarity, but even they don't know everything. Delilah being a lust and vengeance demon, and Sheridan being a hedonism demon, they can only tell me so much. The different factions of demons each have their own quirks and culture. TVL is the one I really need information from because his specialty is tracking. He knows more. He has to in order to protect himself when he's hunting down various demons and monsters. I've tried to be friendly to TVL, hoping he'd warm up to me so I can learn more about my heritage, but it's slow going. He's also hot as fuck, and that's got nothing to do with it at all. Scrubbing a hand on my face, I try to think of new search terms that might give me better results. When nothing comes to me, I grab my coffee mug to go top it off and notice all my coffee is gone. Damn it, Millicent, did Larkspur stow away in your coat pocket again? My fellow deputy looks up from her monitor. I don't think so. Why? I had at least half a mug of coffee left and now it's gone. Oren, just because you don't remember drinking the rest of your coffee doesn't mean Larkspur did it. I give her a skeptical look. 9 times out of 10 is that damn pixie, and you know it. He's a menace. Millicent rolls her eyes. He's mischievous and bored, a heady combination. Larkspur, I know you're here. Show yourself. Oren, you're making an ass out of yourself. I told you, he's not here. A mischievous giggle fills the room. I knew it. Millicent shrugs. I checked all my pockets, my purse, and my gun belt before I left the house. He must have found a way past my search. Maybe we should put a bell on him. Somehow, I doubt that would do much good. Millicent sighs. I keep threatening to feed him to Jasper, but even that doesn't seem to help. That's because he knows you'd never actually follow through. Besides, he'd probably give that hellhound indigestion. Standing up, I take my empty coffee mug to the break room and fill it, then walk back to my desk. Stay away from this one, Larkspur, I call out into the room. The pixie is still hiding, and if he knows what's good for him, he'll stay hidden. Damn coffee thief. I set my mug closer to my monitor so I can keep an eye on it. Honestly, some people have dogs and cats to worry about getting into things. We've got the addition of a pixie. Lucky us. Shaking my head, I type in some new search criteria and resume my browsing, thankful that the small town of Juniper Lake is quiet enough that I can research while I'm on duty. As I'm heading into my 3rd hour of fruitless internet browsing, Malachi arrives to relieve me. Morning, Sheriff, I say, glancing up briefly. Morning. Anything I need to know about? Other than the fact that Larkspur's lurking around making mischief? No. Crying out loud, Millicent, Malachi says. Hey, I did my due diligence. He's just sneaky. Standing up, I walk over and take my coat off the rack and slip into it and then put my hat on. Well, have fun with that, I say as I pat Malachi on the shoulder on my way out. You're going to hell. You know that, right? Malachi calls after me before the door closes. Chuckling to myself, I walk over to my truck, get in, and start it up. After setting my hat on the seat beside me, I back out of the parking spot and head toward my cabin. By the time I get to my place, I'm ready to face plant into my pillow. Even with the coffee, I'm still tired after working the night shift. Exiting my truck, I walk to my front door and unlock it. But before I open it, I pause. Something feels off. I don't know what, but something feels different. Slipping my sidearm out of the holster with one hand, I turn the doorknob with the other and then use my foot to push it open. Nothing. Keeping my back to the door, I face my living room, but everything looks to be in order. After clearing the downstairs of my cabin, I start up the stairs to the loft where I sleep. The loft is about half the size of the downstairs area, with just enough room for my bed, dresser, a couple of nightstands, and a small closet with sliding doors. I can see the entire area from the top of the stairs. Nothing. That leaves the closet. Walking slowly over to the closet, I slide one side open and look inside. Not one thing is out of place. Lowering my gun, I set it on my dresser while I go back down to close the front door. I must be overreacting because I'm exhausted. As my fingers turn the lock, I feel a presence behind me and then a cool blade rest on my throat. Always listen to your instincts, Hunter. I could have killed you a dozen times by now. The blade leaves my throat and I turn around. TVL, you bastard, what the fuck are you doing here? Testing your reflexes. You've got the inherent talents of your lineage, you just lack the training to hone them. Way to rub it in. Instead of a surprise visit, how about you tell me how to find another hunter to train me? To my knowledge, there are very few trained hunters left, and the ones who are around keep their hunter status hidden. TVO hesitates and then says, I could train you to fight demons, but it wouldn't be the traditional hunter way. I'm speechless for a few seconds. Most of the time, TVO is a first-class jackass, but then he has these moments where he seems like he actually gives a shit. It makes me wonder whether the jackass attitude is a front. Okay, I guess I have few alternatives. Don't get too excited about it now, TVO mutters. If I didn't know better, I think he was genuinely upset about my lack of overt enthusiasm. It's not that I don't appreciate his offer, more like I don't know if I'll be able to tolerate his attitude. We can start this afternoon after I get a nap. I'm beat. I trust you can find the way out, I say as I head up the stairs to my loft without waiting for a response. Chapter 2, TVO. I watch Oren walk up the stairs to his loft and try to figure out why I offered to train him. What is it about him that keeps me coming back to Juniper Lake? I haven't given a shit about much for a very long time, not since Nikane was murdered. His death turned me so bitter that I pushed Malachi right out of my life too, blaming him for the whole thing. I know it wasn't really Malachi's fault. He did everything he could to protect Nikane, but in the end, that didn't matter. I needed someone to take my anger out on, and Malachi was a convenient target. Until a few months ago, I avoided Malachi, but when he called me to help him take out some witches that had trapped his girlfriend Delilah, I couldn't resist. Witches were the root of Nikane's death, and I take every opportunity to exact revenge that I can. I hadn't planned to come back to Juniper Lake, but Oren caught my attention. Even though I'd never admit it, I keep helping around this podunk town just so I can be near him. Pathetic. I catch a flash of skin as Oren takes off his shirt. Maybe it's just a physical attraction I feel. The idea of a demon bedding a demon hunter. Yeah, that's probably it. Before I let myself analyze it any further, I pop out, leaving Oren to get some sleep. Service, sir? The young man kneeling naked in front of me asks. Normally, I would eagerly take him up on the offer, use him the way he likes me to, but no, not right now. Now I need to think about where I should start Oren's hunter training. The thought of him having so much potential, but essentially defenseless because of a lack of training doesn't sit well. He's been introduced to the world. He's been introduced to a world full of dangerous things and has no idea how to defend himself against most of them. A surge of anger threads through me as I think about how Oren's family just left him ignorant about his heritage. Not now, Jeru. The imp glances up at me briefly and then lowers his eyes. Have I angered you, sir? What? No. Why do you ask? You used my given name, sir. I'm tired and have a lot on my mind, Jeru. You may go. Jeru looks hurt by my dismissal, walking away with his tail dragging the floor, but leaves me to my thoughts. Pouring myself some whiskey, I sit down on my bed and flip on the TV for some background noise. Just as I'm getting settled in to give things a good think, someone pounds on my front door. Jeru answers it, and a minute later comes into my room. There's someone at the door looking to hire a tracking demon, sir. Downing the whiskey, I get off of the bed and head toward the front door, pausing to give Jeru a kiss on his forehead for reassurance after my earlier dismissal. As per standing instruction, Jeru has left the visitor waiting outside of the door. I don't let people into my apartment until I've gotten a feel for what they're about. The guy standing just outside the door looks out of place for this neighborhood. I might be swimming in money, but I don't advertise it. I'm more comfortable in a rundown apartment building than a flashy penthouse or mansion. This guy clearly doesn't care who knows he has money. He probably has some kind of fancy car with a driver waiting for him downstairs. What do you want? I ask, already knowing he's here to hire me. The man shows no reaction to my abruptness. I'm looking for a tracker demon to find a dragon. I'll pay whatever fee you require. You can't be serious. Dragons are extinct. Stop wasting my time. I start to close the door in his face, but he puts his foot in the way to stop it. I've heard rumors of one, and I want to confirm them. I pull the door back open and look at the guy again and then shrug. That's how you want to spend your money. I'll take it, but when the search comes up empty, remember there are no refunds. If this idiot wants to pour thousands of dollars down the drain, who am I to stop him? The man hands me a card with a phone number on it, nothing else. You can contact me on that number to keep me up to date on your progress. I require a $10,000 deposit. The man pulls out his phone. Excuse me while I set up the transfer. Leaving the door open so I can monitor him, I go over to the coffee table, grab a cigar, and light it. If you would give them the account number, the money will be wired as soon as possible, the man says, holding the phone out to me. After giving the account number, I hand the phone back. Once I confirm the deposit has cleared, I'll be in touch. When I call, who should I ask for? Just ask for Ravenshire, the man says, pocketing his phone. I look forward to hearing from you soon. I watch Ravenshire disappear down the stairs and then close the door. Going back into the living room, I slide my laptop over on the coffee table and sit in one of the mismatched chairs. When the laptop boots up, I do a basic search on the name Ravenshire to see what his front is in the human world. Unfortunately, my search doesn't turn up anything useful, which means it's likely an alias where the man I met isn't the one running the show. Leaning back in the chair, I rest my head on the back of it and close my eyes while blowing out a puff of cigar smoke. Why would someone want to search for an extinct being? I suppose the most likely reasons are money or power, but since I only have a scrap of information to go on, I can't rule anything out. When I lift my head and open my eyes, I see Giroux staring at me from the entrance of the hallway. You're leaving again, aren't you? Most likely. I have no idea where this new job will lead me. Giroux nods and silently retreats to his room. A pang of guilt stabs me. I rub my chest, trying to rid myself of the bothersome feeling. Giroux has been with me for several years. I know he has developed feelings for me. I should have terminated his contract when I first realized it, but I'm a selfish bastard and kept right on going with the arrangement. This new job will give me an excuse to end the contract. I will not be around very much while going on this wild goose chase that could take months, and Giroux needs looking after. Pulling my phone out of my back pocket, I dial Soren. Unfortunately, all I get is his voicemail. After leaving a brief message, I hang up and then go searching the internet for a place for Giroux to live until he gets a new contract. It doesn't take long to secure an apartment. Money talks and tends to expedite things. I pop into the new apartment to check it out. It's fully furnished and looks like the fancy price tag it comes with. Giving him a place to stay is the least I can do since I'm breaking the contract with Giroux and probably his heart. At least he'll be comfortable and safe. I may not be in love with him, but contrary to popular belief, I'm not a complete dick. Walking over to the front door of the apartment, I unlock it and open it a crack to make sure no one is in the hallway before I step out and make my way downstairs to the office to pick up the key. Once I have the key, I head back up to the apartment to make sure it works and then leave it on the table in the dining area. Popping back into my rundown apartment, I quietly open Giroux's bedroom door and watch him sleep for a minute. Like most imps, he's beautiful, delicate facial features, long dark hair, and lean muscle. I know he'll be able to get a new contract right away. Stealthily, I pack up the few personal items I know are the most important to him and some clothing, and then pop to his new apartment and set the box and suitcase in his new bedroom. Walking over to the bed, I pull back the comforter and top sheet to get it ready, and then pop back to my apartment. Going into my room, I shift some things around in my closet and pull out a small black case. Opening it, I take out a vial with a blue smoke-like substance swirling in it. Heading back to Giroux's room, I uncork the vial and hold it under his nose, ensuring that he doesn't wake up while I transport him to the new place. I feel bad doing it this way, but it'll be easier to make on him to make a clean break. At least that's what I tell myself as I lift Giroux out of bed and pop him into his new bedroom. After getting him tucked in, I leave a note for him on the nightstand, letting him know that my friend Soren will check in on him and help him if he needs anything. I also let him know that I've left money in an account for expenses and that I've paid for the apartment for a full year. That'll give him time to find a new contract that's right for him and not settle for just anything that comes along. Finally, I let him know I won't be at the old apartment anymore and he shouldn't come looking for me. Taking one last look at Giroux, I pop back to my apartment and pack up anything that's important to me. It doesn't take long since most everything I have can be replaced. The only things I really need are my tracking gear, clothes, phone, laptop, and a box containing mementos of Nickane. I take a sweep through the apartment one last time, then making 3 quick trips to Juniper Lake, I have it all moved to the porch of my new home base. Knocking on the door, I wait impatiently for someone to answer. I suppose I could have popped in, but I at least want to cushion the blow a bit so Delilah doesn't kill me in my sleep. Finally, Delilah opens the front door. Teivel, what are you doing here? Moving in? I'll take the attic room, I say, handing her one of the boxes. I'm sorry, I must be hearing things. I could have sworn you just said you were moving in. You heard correctly. I can't move in with Malachi. That's a murder waiting to happen. What makes you think I won't murder you for assuming my house is open for boarders? Have I not done this ragtag group of misfits in Juniper Lake favors over the past few months? Hit. I'm calling in a marker. Glaring at me, Delilah moves out of the doorway with a sweep of the arm that's not holding the box. She says sarcastically, "Be my guest, Your Highness." Don't mind if I do, I say with a grin. Bring the rest of the stuff inside, would you? I hear Delilah muttering under her breath as she sets the box she's holding down and goes out onto the porch for the other boxes. While she's busy with that, I pop up to the attic room and lay my laptop bag down on the small table in the corner. Checking my phone, I see that the money transfer from the new client has gone through. Pulling the contact card out of my laptop bag, I dial the number Ravenshire left me. It goes to voicemail, so I leave a brief message letting him know that the deposit went through and that I'll be starting the job right away. I don't bother to give him my new location. There's something about him that sets me on edge.